It's pretty amazing to me how resilient some of our lakes, reservoirs, bays, and river systems are. They can undergo some horrific circumstances and still manage to come back strong. Circumstances such as drought, big floods, wildfires, disease like golden algae that produce bait fish kills and game fish kills, and yet they're still able to come back quickly and produce good fishing in a relatively short period of time. Today's happy story is of just such a lake and just such a circumstance. I'm really glad you're along for the fun and the fishing. Stay tuned. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southeast region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors Sports South.
So this is Lake Texoma, gigantic lake situated on the Oklahoma-Texas border. Now, when the year 2015 started, this lake was about 9 feet low and covered about 87,000 surface acres. By the end of May 2015, the lake was 32 feet high and covered 119,000 surface acres. That's what 51 inches of rain in one area will do even to a giant lake like this. Now, the high water level wasn't necessarily the biggest problem. The Ouachita and Red Rivers feed this impoundment, and they are red. It's that red clay, and the entire lake got blasted with an infusion of bright red clay, and you couldn't see 1 inch in the water. Frankly, I don't even know how those stripers survived, but somehow they did. The lake is quickly returning back to normal level. The water is clearing and the fishing is beginning to pick up. On today's show, we're going to go out for the first time since the floods of 2015 and give the striper fishing a shot, see what's happening. It's going to be a lot of fun, and while we're doing that, we're taking you around the region for your latest fishing reports from our expert team of insider reporters. Right now, we're going to get ourselves out in the NITRO Z8, do a little scouting on Texoma. While we're doing that, you go back to the FSN studios. Here's your weekend planner.
Hello everybody, the Solar Tables are projecting the best game fish activity over the holiday weekend to take place on Sunday. Look for peak action in the morning to begin at 5:58, while the best evening times will start at 6:24. Expect the sun to rise at 7:04 and set at 7:47, and night skies will feature a crescent moon that's 36% illuminated. We're coming right back with all the current freshwater and coastal fishing information from around the area, plus current Bassmaster angler Ott Defoe joins us to answer this week's Ask the Pro question about smallmouth bass fishing. First though, here are a few entries from the Costa Catch of the Week contest. These photos didn't win, but we still thought you might enjoy taking a look at some of these good catches. We'll have this week's winner towards the end of today's program.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. By Lew's, setting a new standard of fishing performance. Feel the difference. By Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. And by Stren Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability.
There's one. Got bit. All right. Come up here. Oh, that's a decent striper. Don't go anywhere. All right, that'll work just to get it started right there. Well, we've made it out here on Texoma, and as we mentioned, things are beginning to get back to normal. Beginning with, the first thing I notice out here is the water color. As I mentioned, it was red, orange, red mud. And you just couldn't see a bait. And the guides here, people that live here, just couldn't catch any fish at all. It's not a bad fish right there though. I'll take that fish. And he's fat, healthy, been eaten. So back he goes. And as this water's began to clear, and now it's, I would say it's almost back to normal Texoma color. You can see down about 3-4 feet down into the water, something like that. Here's the one little key that's going on with these stripers early on as they reacclimate to their normal surroundings once that water has gone back down 32 feet, is that they're staying near deep water. They're staying near the river channel. So they're not back up in the flats. So you've got to stay on little points, ridges, and humps that are just off the 70-foot deep river channel, either the Washita River channel, which is where I'm sitting right now, or the Red River channel, which is back a few miles behind us. So that's your first key right there. Stay near deep water where those fish can run out of deep water feed and then run back to deep water where they can feel safe until things settle out. All right, we've got to start. Let's get you some fishing reports from where you live.
This part of the program is brought to you by Coastal Georgia Inshore Charters on St. Simons Island, Georgia. Captain Tim Cutting is the man to see for Golden Isles family-style angling for flounder, redfish, sea trout, and other species too. Well, the height of the Georgia tarpon season is underway. There's lots of fish in that 80 to up to 150-pound class being caught in southeast Georgia, primarily off the Golden Isles, but also as far south is the south end of Cumberland Island, where the St. Mary's River comes in the Atlantic Ocean. In addition to tarpon, there's plenty of sharks around the trawlers. The live bottom areas off the coast of Georgia are yielding kingfish to 30 pounds. In Mississippi, amberjack fishing has been great offshore. These are big fish. Some of them are 80 to almost 100 pounds, very big fish, near record size. Flounder fishing continues real good along the Mississippi Bayfront in that Biloxi area, but the fish tend to be potted up. If you're not catching fish in 10 or 15 minutes to the spot, keep moving. They're around rocks and rubble, bulkheads, that sort of thing. Use a jig and a small minnow bait like a menhaden or a mullet, and just keep on the move until you find fish. There's plenty of bull redfish offshore Mississippi, trolling around the barrier islands on the south side, the Gulf open water side. In Alabama, there's trout to 3 pounds in the North Mississippi Sound area, and also Mobile Bay. It continues to give up good numbers of trout very early in the morning, at night, and at dusk.
Thanks for looking in on the Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi Freshwater Fishing Report. This week's action is sponsored by Liberty County. Located in scenic coastal Georgia, Liberty County offers the Dorchester Shooting Preserve, 2 marinas, and public fishing piers as prime locations for your hunting and fishing trips or outdoor adventures. Escape the ordinary and visit Liberty County, the right blend. www.libertycounty.org. We're now getting into September. It's still hot, and we're getting into that dry season here in the South. Over the next few weeks, the rivers and streams will be at their best water levels of the year for fishing. For a really southern fishing tradition, try targeting catfish on the Swanee River near Fargo, Georgia. Now, the Okefenokee Swamp is just to the north of us. We're near the Georgia-Florida border. This is a black, tannic water river, and it's home to lots of bullheads. These smaller members of the catfish family bite in the heat of summer, and they're great ingredients for a fish fry. There's nothing fancy about this action. You can use a rod and reel or a cane pole, and the best baits are going to be worms, chicken livers, or dead shrimp fished on the bottom. For some creek action up in northwest Alabama, try floating the Bear Creek Floatway, or you can get on Bear Creek Canoe Trail. Both of these are full of spotted bass that are active right now. Over in South Mississippi, the Pascagoula River is giving up some big flatheads in recent weeks.
Oh my gosh, look at my graph. My graph is just completely lit up with fish. There's got to be one in here. Here, he's got it, I got one. I mean, I saw all those fish on that graph. Striper. I think I can swing him aboard. All right, we got us another one. Welcome back, everybody. We're on Lake Texoma today, and man, I tell you, it's been a little bit of a frustrating day so far because I have seen a ton of fish on my sonar. Doggone it, be still while I show these people what a Texoma striper looks like. Back he goes. And I'm gonna scroll my graph back and just give you a quick look here, but man, these fish were just completely lit up. If you're coming here, you shouldn't come here thinking of the old days where you'd have a limit by 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. But it is a great sign to see that these fish are on the way back and that you can catch some now. I wanna show you how bad this got. There were a lot of boat docks and boat houses that sustained a lot of damage. Not from a lot of wind, but that the lake just got so high that they floated up on their piers, and then just a little bit of wave or wind action just really does a lot of destruction. Been through a rough time, it's on the way back, and we, as you can see, we are able to catch a few stripers out here. I'm throwing a spoon, big striper spoon, and a small spoon, and what I'm finding is they actually want the little one more than they want the big one, just a little small, heavy jigging spoon. So we'll fish around out here and see what else we can find. Texoma on the way back. Here's some fishing and lake reports from your backyard.
Hey guys, this week's Tennessee and Kentucky Fishing Report is all about late summer. All the fish are pretty much positioned by the variables that are present in late summer through this region. The lakes are all being drawn down that are in the Tennessee Valley watershed system for flood control purposes. They're drawing them slowly down to winter pool, which is about 5 feet on Kentucky Lake here below normal summer pool. Also, with the water coming down, the emergent vegetation is topping out, and that's giving you just a big wide area of grass. And in the late summertime, with the oxygen content, with there's less current, the water's getting shallower. Grass just plays a vital role in finding fish. It offers shade. It offers a ton of bait. They hide out there for the same reason predator fish do, and it offers a ton of oxygen. So if you're gonna fish in the Tennessee and Kentucky region in the next little bit, really look for emergent vegetation. Milfoil, hydrilla, naiad are the most prevalent species on the Tennessee River. Catfishing is fair right now. Crappie fishing is fair. The bass fishing is really the best thing going, and it's completely a grass bite. Get you a topwater bait, get you a soft piece of plastic, and just go find you some grass next to deep water or next to a ditch and pound it out. Guys, we'd love to see you on the water in Tennessee and Kentucky. God bless.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Exide AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. By MotorGuide Trolling Motors, introducing the XI5 for ultimate boat control. And by NITRO Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made.
Feels like a little striper. Oh, whoa. Not very big, but he sure thought he was big. Let's flop that dude in there. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Well, we're still on Texoma today, and I've lost the cameraman. He had other things he had to do and ran out of time. So I've got the little tripod working back here. This is so cool because I'm actually just sitting back here in my back seat, and got the camera on remote control, and I will tell you, it's been a very difficult day. I don't want to try to mislead you at all into thinking that we caught a whole bunch of fish today. Probably between me and my brother, who runs camera for me when I'm in Oklahoma here, we've probably caught 20 stripers in pretty much a full day of fishing, and most of them were just keeper size stripers, about like the one you're seeing my brother catch right here. You can keep these fish, fillet them, they make fantastic eating. We did catch one decent striper that you saw us catch earlier on the show. But again, it's been very difficult, and the fish are difficult to make bite. This has been a real finesse, real finicky deal. The fish have been very scattered. What I've had to do is take a little small spoon, and I'll show you the spoons that we use today at the end of the show on the Academy Right Stuff. But it's taken a real finesse technique. If you watch our show at all, you know that I'm big on catching stripers and hybrids on a reeling technique, on a horizontal presentation. Well, today, stripers have really turned the tables. It's taken a vertical presentation, so what we've had to do is drop the spoon to the bottom and gently lift it up. So drop it, a smooth lift, and then let it flutter back. And a smooth lift, and let it flutter back. And it's that real smooth lift that's caught the fish that we've been able to catch. Caught one pretty nice striper and then a bunch of fish about the size of the one you just saw me catch. But the fishing definitely is on the rebound. It hasn't been that long ago when you could not catch a striper of any kind here on this lake because of the muddy water conditions and the flood. So we're headed back towards normal. And right before we get to some more fishing reports here, I want to give you Dan Barnett's phone number. If you'd like to book a guide trip this fall or winter, going into next spring, he's guided here for 39 years. And he knows this lake, and if he can find, if there's a striper to be caught, he will absolutely find it and help you catch it. We'll put his information there up on the screen. Dan Barnett, Lake Texoma. You contact him, and if a striper can be caught here, you'll catch it in Dan's boat. Let's get you some more fishing and lake reports right now from your local area.
Hey folks, Captain E here with your Carolinas report. This week brought to you by Marshall's Marine, located in Lake City and Georgetown, South Carolina. We're your bass boat leader since 1969. For all your nitro and bass tracker needs, visit www.marshallsmarine.com. Tell you what, this week we're going to stay in the saltwater side of things. We've got a lot to talk about. I tell you what, the water temperatures are going to start cooling down now. We're starting to get some of those cooler evenings, and I'm excited because fall fishing is right around the corner. The speckled trout, the redfish, and the flounder in the inlets are going to start going off. I'm starting to get some great reports from down around the Wando River area, down in Charleston, of starting to catch some of those big trouts in good numbers. Also, the guys up in North Carolina are reporting that the redfish are starting to get into that fall pattern, and they're having no trouble out there sight fishing for them. Right here in my home neck of the woods here off the Grand Strand, we're having a great time with the Spanish mackerel and king mackerel. They'll start moving into the beach as the mullets start moving along the beach. We're also going to start seeing some tarpon making their way down the coastline. Get out with some big rods and get ready. You can have some great action catching what could be a fish of your life out there. Also, the offshore wahoo bite continues to be incredible. I can't stress it enough. If you get a chance to get offshore right now to go wahoo fishing, you could have a prolific day. And it's rare for this time of the year. A lot of bait out there, and if you find bait, you're going to find fish. Get out there and do some high-speed trolling. Make sure you got a planer rod or a wire rod down deep so you can get some good action. This has been your Carolinas report brought to you by Marshall's Marine. Remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than just a boat, it's a tracker. By Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there. By Mercury Marine, official outboard of Fox Sports Outdoors. And by Lowrance Electronics. Find, navigate, dominate.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro feature, where viewers get insider tips from top anglers. This week's question is from Troy, who asks, what are the best lures to catch smallmouth bass? For the answer, we checked with Bassmaster Elite Angler Ott Defoe.
If you're just wanting to target smallmouth bass, a couple of baits that I would suggest you use are smaller swim baits and a drop shot. Those type of techniques, those type of baits, if you're fishing in a lake that's got smallmouth, they're certainly going to catch them. But more so than a bait is the areas that you're fishing. The lakes that I live on, close to me, those lakes, if you're fishing way up in a creek, something like that, you're actually not going to be where many of those smallmouth are. Our smallmouth bass where I live are primarily a main lake-oriented fish. So just keep that in mind. Every kind of lake you're going to fish, if it's got mixed species, if it's got both, there's going to be a type of structure, a type of the lake, an area of the lake where those smallmouth are going to be most popular, and that's where you're going to want to target them.
Thank you, Ott. If you need help from one of the pros, visit foxsportsoutdoors.com and follow the Ask the Pro link to submit a question. Have a safe and fun Labor Day weekend, and now let's see who's going to be rocking a new pair of sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
This week's winner in the Costa Catch of the Week contest is Scott Brannock of Murrells Inlet, South Carolina. Look at this. He is shown here with a giant 67-pound mahi-mahi he caught off the coast at Murrells Inlet, South Carolina, 60 miles offshore on a fraternity brother trip. If you'd like to be our next winner in the Costa Catch of the Week contest, all you have to do is go to our website, foxsportsoutdoors.com. On the right-hand side of the front page is the Costa Catch of the Week area. Click in that, follow the instructions, send us your photo. You could be our next winner. And if you'd like to see all of the Costa frame and lens styles, go back to the front page of our website, click on the Costa logo, and you can see all of the lenses, all of the frame styles there, including the fantastic frame style I was wearing this week called Manta. Next up on the Academy Right Stuff feature, it's the right gear to catch stripers here at Texoma or anywhere for that matter. And it's one of my chances to use one of my very favorite fishing rods that Lew's manufactures. This is the Lew's Speed Stick Custom Series, the one with the white color on the handles. This one's special. This is the Magnum casting rod, 7 feet, 11 inches long, nearly 8 feet of brute strength and a medium, heavy, or heavy action rod for these stripers. Got it spooled up with 17-pound test Stren original line, which is the perfect line to fish for stripers. We caught them on 2 basic baits today, a big 5-inch spoon and a smaller 1/2-ounce spoon that's about 2.5 inches long. They actually bit the smaller spoon better because they were very finicky today. Lately, I've begun making it a point to tell the clerk at the grocery store or the pharmacy that I don't want my item placed in a bag. You know, those clerks are trained that even if you have one item, they stuff it in a bag and hand it to you. Many times when I tell them I don't want that bag, they'll take my item out, hand it to me, and put that bag in the trash can, where it winds up in our landfills, or even worse, along our roadsides or in our lakes, rivers, and the oceans. They're absolutely polluting our environment. I've become a hater of the single-use plastic bag. Many municipalities across the United States have banned them entirely. Here's the favor that I would ask. Go in there and tell that clerk early. If you've only got a couple of items, I'll carry those. Don't even let them put it in a bag, and don't let that bag go in the trash can. If you must use single-use plastic bags, save those at home, put them in a place where you can collect them, take them back to the grocery store. Almost every major grocery store chain across the country accepts those bags back, puts them into recycling where they can be used again. I hope you enjoyed some of the stripers that we showed you today now that Lake Texoma is back open for business. And you can use some of these same techniques to catch them at your favorite reservoir that has stripers, hybrids, or white bass. Don't forget to join us for next week's episode. We'll be on at our normal time, 6 p.m. on Thursday, with the repeat airing Sunday morning at 8:30. And you can always catch our latest episode 24/7 on the front page of our newly designed website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Our website has now been relaunched in mobile-friendly format, which means it will show up full size on any device you'd like to view it on, including an Android device, an iPhone, a tablet, or a full-size PC. And you can always click on Archives to see our past episodes and the preview for next week. And you can see lots of how-to videos, product videos. Click on that how-to link that you see on your screen there. And one more reminder, we give away lots of free gear on our Twitter feed at the Twitter address you see on your screen. You can get lots of photos, video, and fishing news that we don't have time for here on the television show. And you can get a lot of that same information on our Facebook page. Be sure to hit the like button. From Lake Texoma, until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.